All right. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. I am so excited and honored. Very, very honored. I stepped out of my comfort zone, and at every convention I go and I make sure and I say hi to this beautiful lady, and because she's a real person and she's awesome at everything that she does. But I stepped out of my comfort zone and I wanted to give you guys a guest speaker. So our guest speaker tonight is the very first consultant that Orville ever asked to be a consultant, and I will let Dini Moorehouse take it away.
Thank you, and thank you for your kind words. That's very nice of you. So yes, as Sarah said, I'm Dini Moorehouse, and I'm the very first Sensi consultant. And a lot of times people will ask, well, how did that come to be? How do you get to be a very first consultant or so close to the top? One, I was in the right place at the right time. And two, my husband knew Orville. My husband is Sean, knew Orville when Orville had seen Karen Collette at a show. They were vendors across from each other. And then Orville kind of liked what they had. And I think Collette traded him like some Sensi for some game remote controls or something that he was selling at the time. And so he brought it home and had Heidi smell the testers, and she enjoyed it. She really liked it a lot. So anyway, on the way home, Orville called Sean and said, hey, I just saw this great idea. What do you think about it? And Sean said, it sounds wonderful. We want in. And he said, well, I don't know if I need or want the help just yet. So Sean asked Orville what he was going to do with it, and he was talking some retail. And then Sean said, why don't you meet my wife, Dini? She has some direct selling experience. I'm going to try to turn this down some. I don't know if it helps. Wearing glasses is not always fun. Actually, it's never fun when you wear them since you were a little kid. Anyway, I'm sorry about the glare. So we ended up meeting, and I had tried to be prepared as I could be, and took some information and some research about direct selling companies versus retail, and we decided from that moment forward that we were going to work together and move this forward. And so it's a perfect fit for me because I love fragrances. I love my hair product to smell good, my lotion to smell good, my car, my kitchen. I like fragrances. Now, I strongly dislike odors, and there is a big difference. So I don't like the odors, and I don't like to just mask them. I want to, if there's ever odors, I want to cut them out completely. And so there's a difference in fragrances and odor cutter outers. I don't know the right word for that. But anyway, back on track. So we started working together out of the barn, and we have some silly, funny stories that we could sit and tell and take us back, to the good old days. And I remember going in pajamas to Orville and Heidi's house, and us having, Heidi needed to put all the kids down. She did that. And we sat around the kitchen table and did business. We talked and planned and did work. And I had the privilege of preparing the very first consultant handbook and giving names to each of the ranks. So that was a lot of fun. That was definitely a learning experience, and just little things like that list of 100 and things like that. So anyway, when we got to that point, because we didn't get to it right away. I mean, we had a consultant handbook, but before we started actually printing them up and sending them out, because we had to save our pennies. We didn't, we had to wait until we could have enough money to even buy software to be online, because everything was done by hand, and pictures. It sounds so ancient, doesn't it? Anyway, so there was a day that it was just seriously like a day of celebration. We could afford lease on a small building, and it was great. It was now looking back, it was a small office, but it was a great office. It was our very first real office. So we worked out of there, and Orville poured the candles. Sean would come at night. We'd get our family in an assembly line. The kids were much younger then. And we would tell them, okay, this is family time. How fun. We're going to, because we didn't have our boxes sent to us at all. We're like, this is family time. You start over there, Austin. Nolan, you do this. I'm going to do this. And Ruby was only 2. So she's going to be 15 in a couple weeks. So anyway, as we talk to them, because when they're younger, they really like to work. They want to be helpers, right? So they're like, what do I do, Mom? What do I do? And I'm like, okay, we've got to take that warmer out of that box, toss the box, because they came in these little white chintzy cardboard boxes with nothing on them. And we wanted them to have our Scentsy look. So we had the boys take them out and then take the light bulb out because it was the wrong wattage, and putting the light bulb in. I mean, everybody had their own responsibility, and that then made up our assembly line. And honestly, I love that they loved doing it because they felt so accomplished, that I would ask them to do a task and do big people work, even though it was just time-consuming work. But anyway, it was, I remember once when we had like a big blue Tupperware-ish, I don't think it was Tupperware, but, plastic bowl. And we would get the styrofoam peanuts and put them in the orders, and Grace got sick. And it was like, what do we do? Bowl, get the peanuts bowl. So out the peanuts went for shipping, and we had the bowl so Gracie could make it to wherever she needed to when she was sick when she got sick to her stomach. But just fun. I mean, I can't believe now that I'm talking about it, or as I'm talking about it, she's this beautiful young woman now. And I mean, I was there when she was potty training, and Ruby was just so itty bitty. It's kind of like it does not seem like it was 12 plus years ago by any means. And it doesn't seem like it was just yesterday, but it just seems like time has just zipped on by. I mean, if I would have blinked, I would have missed it. And, as in motherhood, for those of us that are mothers, it's kind of this way too. And I tell my daughters-in-law, they have small babies, and I just say, just remember, the nights may be very long, but the years will fly by. So just appreciate every night, every day, whether they're hard or not. I mean, we have 6 kids and we have 5 grandkids. And so they're a lot of fun. They kept us on our toes and uber busy. And especially when you have kids that are really smart, they're just kind of smart and ask questions, and sometimes they're grown-up questions. And I have to think quickly on my feet and go, oh my gosh, how am I going to answer him? He doesn't need to know this yet. So anyway, all kinds of fun things we learn as parents, right? Same things we learn as we become leaders. While we're not parenting anyone, we are needing to have answers to our team members and to those who we have committed to be responsible over, and not for, but with. One of my biggest goals when we started Scentsy was to bring as many people along for the ride as I possibly could. And I can 100% say that I get no greater satisfaction out of Scentsy than to say, oh, so-and-so over there promoted, and you know what? She went all the way to the top, and I think I had this much to do with it. But even though I just had this much to do with it, I helped her get there. And that is so satisfying to me, to watch and see people develop and grow and climb the ladder and then turn into leaders. Some people are born leaders, and some people learn to be leaders. And as long as they learn it and move forward with it, then it's all good. And some people, I can honestly say, and I think it goes for all parents, we will learn things from our children. Sometimes like, oh my gosh, I would have never thought of that. And sometimes like, oh, maybe I didn't want to know that. So anyway, but making sure our team members know where they can go, they feel comfortable going. Why? Because we've built a relationship with our team. After all, we are in the direct selling industry, right? Which means this right here. Tonight, it's this right here, you and I, digitally or online. But, face-to-face, building relationships, that has by far been the greatest gift, I guess, for me. And being able to call so many people my friends and, building good, trusting, strong relationships. Now, when we're leaders, it's been a while, but I've tried for several years to cut one word in particular out of my vocabulary, because I'm a firm believer that the power of language is uber strong. So when I'm training a new consultant, I always tell them, we don't beg for business. That is a big no-no. We don't ask people to do things for us. We don't say, I'm a new consultant and I really need a party, and will somebody please host a party for me? I just remind them, I'm like, we're Sensi. We don't beg for business. We never need to, because we are Sensi. Now, turning it around a little bit, saying, I am a new Sensi consultant. I would love to help anybody that wants free products earn those free products. Can I help you earn free products that you love? So a little bit of a difference there. From will you please do this for me to I want to offer you this service. Can I offer you this service? Also, along with I call it begging for business, is the word if. And that's one of the words that I still have to practice. But when I hear it, especially in a business form, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the sign or t-shirts that say, I'm silently correcting your grammar. That would be me. And so I'm like, oh, they just said it. But is the word if. And think now, when next time you're talking and the word if comes up, you might think of this right now. And you'll go, okay, could I have used another word? So instead of, well, if you have a party, Susie, you'll be able to do this and this. Oh, no, we need to make sure that Susie is in the same thought process and thinking along the same way as us. And so, Susie, when you have that party, you are going to get so many half-price items. And let's just start, because gosh, I'm sure you wouldn't want to sell any less than $500. This is what $500 is going to get you. Just talking it up. A challenge. Here's a challenge. And the next time I see any of you ladies, I want to know if you've worked on the word if and replaced it with something else. It makes a huge difference in our everyday personal and business life. When we use it, we're questioning, right? Well, if you hold a party, because maybe you want to, maybe you don't, if you'll be kind enough to let me in your home. No, we need to be very sure, because we have a great company. We have a wonderful product, and that's why we're here right now, because we have so much faith in the company, and we absolutely have passion for our product, for the fragrance, for the the decor, the whole 9 yards, the whole bit of it. So if should not be used, and if it is used, it should be used very sparingly. And I'm a firm believer that in a business sense, especially with us, we should find very few reasons to share it. Like new consultants, going back to new consultants, because this is the first thing that comes to my mind. So let's say Betty over here. Betty, I'm so glad you joined my team. Now there's 2 incentives that are only, the word's escaping me, but basically available for new consultants. And new consultants only, it's a one-time thing. So if you can get the shooting star, or if not, maybe you can at least get the sensational start. So I'm already putting a question in her mind. Well, can I do it? And if it's not a person that's really like, oh, I got this, we're going to get this thing going, it's going to get rolling, then I promise you, they will have those thoughts too. Well, she said, if I can get that, I don't know. Can I? How hard is it? It sounds like it's going to be really hard. No, this is this, that is that. When you accomplish this, you're going to be well on your way to this. And then it's going to be like jumping in with both feet. You're going to get running. Before you know it, you're going to be, a certified, and just keep on going up from there. I always encourage them to be certified as soon as possible, and explain that those two incentives that are for new consultants only are there for a purpose, and that's so that Sensi can help them along, have those programs to get a running start. Also, as far as the power of language is concerned, have you guys, as in guys and gals, ever been in a situation where you were just cheesed? My kids aren't allowed to say PO'd because I think it just sounds ugly coming out of a lady's mouth. And I always tell my girls, always remember to be a lady. And I have to tell myself, always remember to be a lady. Or just zip it, Dini. But so in our home, just it's kind of a joke, but we really use it like, don't cheese me off, or I'm so cheesed. So we've all had those moments, I'm sure. Sometimes they're in private when we get really upset, or somebody humiliates us, or somebody just, for whatever reason, brings out emotions or creates, it doesn't even have to be brought out, but creates emotions within us that are not exactly positive. We can always turn that around, and as calmly and softly and slowly as we speak, we will have their undivided attention. And when you're a speaker yourself, or when you're doing a training, do opposite of what I've just been doing, going like this, because sometimes I get so excited and I talk fast, but I know full well that people will go, huh? What is she saying? When I'm talking slower and I soften my voice, and it is almost as if they're required to pay more attention, because they may not be getting it anyway, right? Literally, some people can't hear certain tones. I have a brother that can't. I just learned that this past year, and like T's and D's, he doesn't hear. And he's 2 years older than me. I didn't know this. He was always trying to decipher, what is that conversation? What are they saying to me? So there's real life reasons why we want to speak clearly and, be sure of what we're saying. Anyway, a saying that we have in our house is, it's not my saying, it's a saying that's been around for years, but it's much easier to catch bees with honey than it is to with vinegar. And that is how we should consider ourselves, not with a knee-jerk reaction, but with a response instead of a reaction. And there is a difference. So in one of my favorite books, one of my all-time favorite books is The Go-Givers. And then the second one is Don't You Love That Book? And Go-Givers Sell More. And then, what is it? It's Not All About You, or It's Not All About Me. I can't remember, the little thin yellow book. I love Bob Berg, and I had an opportunity to be in one of his live seminars. Why he came to Little Old Meridian, Idaho is beyond me, but I knew he was here. And so I went, and there was just a few minutes, very few minutes afterwards of for Q&A. And so at the time I was struggling, because coming from being a stay-at-home mom, and then going into business, I wasn't really a business woman, or I would never have called myself a businesswoman, but I learned a lot of business things that I didn't want to know. And so some of them broke my heart. Some of them surprised me. Some of them I thought, I don't know if I can, live knowing that that's the way that's done, or he or she is doing that. I need to separate myself, whatever the situation may be. Sorry, let me mute this. My watch is telling me it's time to stand, and I'm saying, no, it's not. Anyway, so I asked him and said, why do people change when they become not just successful, but financially successful? Why is it that so many people change? And at that moment, at that time, I was really hurting over something that had gone on in my life personally. And I had seen it, from a distance with other people. And he sat there, and it kind of stumped him. I was surprised. And he said, Dini, I don't believe people change when they become financially stable, successful, and then on. He says, I believe you get to see their true colors. that was a very loud, profound statement to me that we're really not different people, are we? I'm still Dini Moorehouse. You're still who you are. They're still who they are. But with the power of language, we can definitely keep ourselves grounded and on the same level as everyone else, because we are. We aren't any better or less than anyone else. Or we can use certain language or words or tones that can be implicable of, you're below me, so don't, blah, blah, blah. I know sometimes it's fun to climb the ranks and we're working hard. We deserve it, right? I mean, it doesn't just get handed to us. And I'll be here to tell you, I was handed nothing. In fact, you could probably ask Orville, it was almost harder for me because he made sure that I wasn't going to get anything easy. So when I decided I was going to stay in the field and there was going to be corporate, I knew that my place was in the field. A, because Ruby was still very young, and I wanted to give her as much of me as I could, just like the other kids got. And B, this is where my comfort level was. I felt like I'd be more of an asset in the field instead of clocking in every day from 9 to 5. So I'm very confident that I made the right choice. But along the learning with the business period, but in our Scentsy business, the power of language is so huge. And it really just takes one of us to start changing all of us, certainly if it's for the better, because it begins right here. It begins with us. And don't ever forget that. Every one of us, we were all created equally, and we were all created not flawed, not better than the others. I think we were created and put on this earth to be happy and successful, and depending on our choices, I think we head in different directions. So language, tones, might sound boring to you, but it truly is a huge thing. It's a powerful tool. And I know that, is it Shauna that you read Go Givers? I love that. And so years ago when I read it, I really have taken a lot of my trainings from that. And so that our consultants, and not our consultants, but us as consultants, when we're talking to other people regarding the business or the products or hosting, that we are sure that they know we're here to do them a service. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's going to be a win-win situation, but we want to help them get what they want. Mm-hmm. And that is what I feel like my job is with my team as well. And I'm very clear about it. And I will say, I want to help you get what you want out of Scentsy. So let's be clear with your goals. Let's write it down. Tell me, what do you want with Scentsy? Oh, I'm just really going to do it for myself, or blah, blah, blah. And you get people going, well, I want to leave my current job within the next 2 years. Okay, let's map it out. It's not really hard to map out somebody that just wants to be a hobbyist with it.
Right.
Yeah. So, and sometimes people that are just wanting to be a hobbyist, one of my superstar directors said, don't call me for training. It's okay. I really don't need it. If I need something, I'll call you. Message received, loud and clear. And I said, well, do you mind if I call and check on you every once in a while? No, I don't mind. Today, she is a superstar director, and her husband has left his job, and they work together as Scentsy consultants, as a team. And so, but she was one that said, nah, I don't want training. I don't need it because, I'm not really going to do this business. Mm-hmm. But when the word got out that, oh, you know what? She sells Scentsy. Okay, let me go to her. And then not just that, but providing the best customer service because we love what we do and we believe in our products. We use our own products. It is such a contagious feeling when, if I got on here or any of us and I was like, hey guys, what's up? Okay, let's get this thing going. I mean, that would be kind of a sour start, don't you think? That would be like, I'm not going to be on this call very long. But it's contagious. And I always tell people that. I'm like, our feeling and our excitement about Scentsy is contagious. People will pick it up. So don't try to fake people out. Don't try to be false, because they'll sniff out what you're doing, whether you're not being authentic or whether you're being completely genuine. And so, just sharing the story, sharing what you love about the product, why you love the product, and then again, using the right words with this. I learned a lot of that through Go Givers and then Go Givers Sell More. Another one of my favorite reads, let me check the time. Okay, we have a few more minutes.
Hey, Dini, do we have a second for questions?
Yes, please, go ahead. I'll close my mouth.
No, I just wanted to give everybody the opportunity to ask you questions if they had.
I would be happy to answer questions.
I'm going to unmute you. I'm going to unmute everybody. If you have some background noise, though, if you wouldn't mind remuting yourself, just so everybody can hear the questions and hear Dini's response. If you don't want to be unmuted, just say, mute me back or something, okay? So I am going to unmute everybody right now that is on. All right. Thanks, Dini. Do you have any questions? Does anybody have any questions?
I want to know the other book she was going to recommend.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. The other book is I Love Dale Carnegie. And so it's How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yes.
And this is in the digital ages. So he has one, the original, and it's red and white.
It's red and white.
Yeah. And so I have that one, and my books seem to be dog-eared, and I'm a color coding freak, so I will color code my different, paragraphs or sentences or whatever, kind of depending on. Don't ever forget this one. That's like neon. Mm-hmm. But he also talks about different approaches and how, for example, there was a company that a lady was traveling through, and somehow, some way, the deal had gone from a deal to not so good of a deal when she was getting ready to leave. And they said, sorry, it is what it is. This is it. This is the price. Mm-hmm. And so rather than stomp back and forth, she had a conversation with whoever was at the top or close to the top and said something to the effect, hold on, I think I was even on that page. They were communicating through email is what it was. And so she said, I kindly request an explanation for the change of pricing, as I'm sure as a respectful company, you value your initial offers and care about maintaining your credibility with your clients. That could have gone very different if she would have gone, you know what, you guys are lying, cheating scums, and I want my money back. See the difference? I mean, she is using, so she's doing what I hope to do someday, is always remember to be a lady. And that is replying, keeping herself very respectful and not letting that knee jerk right up, even though it caused some frustration with her, right? But the way she responded, I think, was almost beautiful. And he shares experiences like that in this book. I just love Dale Carnegie. I've looked into his trainings very, very little. I want to look into them more, and I want to look into Walt Disney's trainings too, because they look fascinating as far as their business trainings are concerned. So if you have any for me, I would love any hints or tips or anything like that for things to eat up like this. How many of you consider yourself, well, what am I? What do you think I am? An introvert or an extrovert?
I know this question.
Okay, so don't answer.
I'm not going to answer.
N.
Yes, I'm an introvert, very much so. I can do this, and why it's so bizarre and crazy. I'm comfortable. I'm okay. I'm just fine doing this. This is, I'm still in my comfort zone. But to get in an elevator with a few people or a lot of people, let's say I'm with my husband and we're going 9 floors up. I swear he'll have their social security number by the time we get out of the elevator. He knows them that well. And me, I'm just standing there like, I don't feel like talking. I'm not being ugly. I'm comfortable right here in my space. Mm-hmm. But when I'm around my Sensi family, and I've had directors tell me, hey, you know what? My team really thinks you're a biatch. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I am the nicest person, you know, not trying to like pat myself on my back, but I'm like, I would never, that's not me. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't hurt somebody, especially not intentionally. And what came of it was that because when I walked past them, I wasn't, Sarah, hi, I'm Dini Moorehouse. How are you? But that would have been so phony because that's mm-hmm. not me. So I guess because I had this laser focus, I'm going here and I'm not noticing people in my peripheral vision, that made me some kind of beast. And so I said, well, thank you for sharing. Maybe you can share with them how I really am. You know? Right. Since you know me better than they do. And this is a person that, you know, it didn't surprise me that she said what she said. We're friends, but she's very much an extrovert and stuff just falls out sometimes. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and I have to say, I think probably with most of us, there's times where something comes out and we're like, that sounded so much classier up here than it did when it came out. Mm-hmm. But they're out. It's out, right? Mm-hmm. The words are like feathers. You can blow them and you're never going to get them all back. They're just gone. They're out there forever. Excuse me. So, tell me, Shauna, where are you with your rank? Tell me how long you've been with Scentsy and how you got started.
I have been with Scentsy almost 8 years, and I am a director and shooting for star. I have star on my eyesight. And I was a full-time dental assistant when I joined, and I just joined to be a hobbyist. I just joined because I loved it. I wanted it. None of my friends knew what it was. And then we moved to Guam, and shortly after, Wendy Marks left, and it just went from there. And now I'm full-time. So
very good. Very good. And are you happy with that choice?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Good. I thought I was my rock star when I grew up, but I never took that path. I went a different route, and then I got married and had a bunch of kids, and then we got cable and stopped having kids. So I don't know, but just kidding. And I don't know this pretty face up here in the corner, Sarah. She's kind of darker over there.
Let's see, Ashley?
Yeah, I guess right next to Shauna. Ashley?
Yes.
Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, I didn't see Ashley.
It's not Ashley, but somebody else. Do you know who I'm pointing to? Yes, you.
Alicia.
Alicia, okay.
Alicia, yes.
Sorry. Alicia, tell me, and then I want to hear from Ashley. How long have you been with Scentsy? How did you find out about it?
I've used Scentsy for several years, but I did not sign up for a consultant until the end of February of this year.
Very good. Are you
enjoying
it?
Under Chrissy.
Are you happy with your choice?
I love it. Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good to hear. That's good. And Ashley, tell me about you.
I just joined Scentsy in September. I'm under Shauna. I met Shauna on one of the spouse pages. We just recently moved to Crestview, Florida. So I was having a hard time trying to find a job that I could work with not having to just pay for daycare for my daughter to be in. Uh-huh. So I connected with her because I asked for the Chasing Fireflies warmer. She found it for me, and then we just started talking, and then I just decided to join, and it's been absolutely amazing for our family.
That is I'm so happy to hear that. And you can tell that Shauna is so pleased because I don't know how this works if you can see her face, but she's just beaming. So yeah, that's good. Good for you. I'm glad that all of you are happy with your choice. Sometimes owning our own business, when people, especially younger, not just kids, but younger adults will say, you know what, I want to own my own business someday. And I'll say, I think that's a great goal. Keep in mind, sometimes it's not all it's cracked up to be because it can make you a little crazy, in my mind, crazier. So, but it's so rewarding. And so long as the rewards far outweigh, the things that kind of just fatigue us or whatnot, I'm working with some drama right now that I feel terrible about. And I just keep thinking, ladies, we can work this out. But anyway, there are times like that. I'm sure, Sarah, I don't know if you've ever experienced that, or any of you other ladies, but when you have a team and your team gets bigger, sometimes, and it doesn't have to be that it's people that are clashing. But for instance, on my team page, I don't allow any, zero, zilch, not a negativity. It gets deleted and I'll message that person right away because language is huge. And that's what I'm talking about is the power of language. I know we're about out of time, aren't we?
We have 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And so.
Okay. Well, let me just say that I'm happy with my choice too. I love what I do. And know this about me, and I don't share it really openly, and I'll try to be really quick. But
no, you're fine.
Right before Sensi, I was introduced to Sensi. My husband and I were on assistance. We needed food stamps to get by. We needed help for health bills to get by. He was working really hard, but he was a commission-only person. And then Sensi came along. And so I always remember that that's where I was when I started Sensi. And I never want to go back there, but I'm so glad that I had that experience. And I'm so glad that I know what that is like. And I'm grateful for the assistance we got. But now it's my turn to assist other people to get what they want out of Sensi. All they need to do is decide, what do you want out of Sensi? Then I'm here to help you get that. Oh, okay. I'm done. Yep. Sorry. I'm a big boob. Sorry. That's just me. What you see is what you get.
Stop apologizing. I can't tell you enough how much of an honor it is. I mean, you are the #1 consultant, but I just, the fact that you said yes to us is just amazing. And I'm sorry there's not more people on.
This is great right here.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But I cherish these girls, and I'm so glad that you said yes. So I'm going to sign off.
Thank you for giving me the privilege. I'm always happy to help whenever I can.
And maybe we can have you back in a couple of months, like for the spring, and you can give us like tips and all kinds of fun things.
Ooh, that would be great. That would be fun. I'd love to do that.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining, and we will see you all soon. And message me if you have any other questions, okay? Have a great week.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye, girls. Thank you.